beyond the mind. It's beyond the logic reasoning. It's not taken from logic. It's taken from all your senses that is actually working through the camera.
I mean, okay, you've explained it and I still don't get it.
You don't get it because it's something that you have to feel.
Yeah.
It's a feeling photography. It's not a thinking photography.
Okay.
And that's the difference. That's because the logic mind doesn't understand what I'm saying. But somewhere inside of you there, you get the feeling of what I'm saying.
Now you're at the Canon SA Expo and you've got a couple of workshops there. Talk to me about, just highlight some of the things that you will be trying to pass on to the keen photographers, enthusiasts, and those are maybe who want to take it professionally.
Sam, what I'm doing is because photography is such a information-driven profession, and I've been doing this for the past 30 years, and it's based on f-stops and shutter speeds, and I'm saying to you, it's not necessarily true. You need to go beyond that. And photography can be very intimidating to people, especially with all these new fancy digital age cameras. And photography is beyond that. It's beyond the mind. It's taking pictures with your heart. And that's the difference.
You know, you're talking about all these gadgets and stuff like that, and you know, and a lot of the ideas are just point and shoot, and I almost feel that it's a horrible way, and you know, amateur photographers these days, they think with all the technology and stuff, they can just point and shoot, but it's not really that. It's about telling that story, that visual story. It's
about capturing that moment in time that can never happen again, and it's connecting. It's connecting through your camera with your subject, rather than just taking an image that's perfectly correct. It's got to go beyond that. You have to take an image that speaks to you, that speaks to people.
And we've seen those images. Those are the ones that for 20 years, 40 years, 50 years from now, it will still resonate with whoever's looking at it.
You've hit the nail right on the head. Because if it's taken from intuition, if it's taken from beyond the mind, it's like when they're creating music. Those songs last forever. Those photographs are timeless when they're taken from beyond the logic mind.
Now, you've got a process, a darkroom process that's unique to you, unique to South Africa. Share with me what makes it so unique, and why is it only being developed here by you, and why has nobody else picked up on it?
I think because it's like poetry. You can't actually take something away from someone. You can't take someone's poem. It's their poem. And I did this 27 years ago, literally dabbling with chemicals, all the old master processes, when I stumbled across this creative process. And I've used it ever since then. I actually made the chemicals and formulated the chemicals. But I do both darkroom and I do digital.
And what perspective does that give you, Marlene? Because very few people these days dabble in both, if any. You'll find somebody that dabbles in digital or in the other process. But the ability to be able to do both, what perspective does that give you?
It gives me a perspective that you, the person, never changes. Whatever's running through you never changes. It's not necessarily what's coming out of you. It's you that never changes. It's how you connect with things. You connect with things in all the same way, regardless if you're using a box camera, a digital camera, a Mukindruk, anything. It's the same person.
I like that Mukindruk. Talk to me about the Center for Photography and Light, and how it's influenced photography in Africa, because you've got an amazing experience workshop coming up in May where you actually take the person out of the environment.
Yes, absolutely. Sam and I built this place about 7 years ago in East London, and the students fly from all over South Africa down there to come and actually experience photography. There's a difference between a camera workshop and a photography workshop, and that's the secret, is that I teach them photography. We cover the camera, but the camera it's like it's getting stuck on cooking. It's getting stuck on the stove and not teaching you how to cook. So I teach you how to cook in photography.
I love that analogy, by the way. How do just some of the workshops that you run at the Photography and Light, what are that? I mean, it's the 3-day one.
It's a 3-day one, and it's also a 6-week workshop. And after that, they need to go on to exploring their inner selves through the camera.
Put on your photographer hat for me very quickly. Yes. What are some of the images that you explore as Marlene Neumann? What are the things that are innately that you're passionate about?
The desert. I have to say the desert. The grasses, the dunes, and also trees. Trees are very deeply spiritual for me. They always have a message for everyone that photographs them. The baobab, the quercubum, just a thorn tree, any tree.
We've got about 30 seconds left. You've got a book coming out very soon.
Yes.
Please tell my our viewers about it.
It's totally off the wall. It's taking photography beyond what it's meant to be. It's called Sky Meets Land, and that's a metaphor for mind meets heart.
We're going to leave it there. Sounds, we need to have a longer conversation with you, very deep.